قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أن نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم صدق الله العظيم وقال حبيبنا محمد صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه ثلاث من كن فيهن وجد بهن حلاوة الإيمان أن يكون الله ورسوله أحب إليه مما سواهما وأن لا يحب المرء إلا لله وأن يكره أن يعود في الكفر بعد أن أنقذه الله تبارك وتعالى منه أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Respected brothers and elders, dear sisters and mothers in Islam, firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a gift. That gift is not only for us, for Muslims, but for the entire humanity. To save the humanity from their dhulumat, from their darkness. لِيُخْرِجَهُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ, to bring them on the path of nur and light. And that gift is none other than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know, the Muslim name is Muhammadi. Muhammadi means a man of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Person who follows Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In English, Muhammadan. When you see the Orientalists and the people, when they're writing about Islam, sometimes they refer to Muslims as Muhammadans. And the exact word for that Arabic is Muhammadi. A person whose nisbah connection is to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just that nisbah itself, just that connection itself, inshallah is enough to save us. As long as we believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we believe in Rabb tabaraka wa ta'ala. You see, the biggest bounty and gift for humanity is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Everyone has to recognize that. Even non-Muslims, when they read about this man, they end up accepting Islam because of his seerah, because of his life. How he was, how his akhlaq was. Everything he taught the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala alayhim. Once upon a time, during the worst, Ayyam al-Jahiliyyah, days of ignorance, Sahaba were one of the worst people. After when they had the suhbah, they had the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they had his companionship, they were with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and they became Muhammadi. Then what happened? They became the best. So much so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guaranteed them Jannah radiallahu anhum wa radu anhu. Allah is happy with them. Allah is pleased with them. Allah declared in the Quran that He is pleased with Ashab Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Respected brothers and elders, we need to recognize, dear sisters and mothers as well, we need to recognize the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The sunnah of, we have to recognize the bounty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How can we increase our love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? How? Well, first of all, we have to read about him. We have to educate ourselves about him. We have to open up history books. We have to open up Sirah kitabs. Prophet of Mercy, Sirah al-Mustafa, we have Sirah ibn Hisham. So many kitabs talking about the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hatta, up until, even non-Muslims have written books on Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's why the ulama, no man has been preserved in history as much as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sahaba has written down from the head, hair, all the way to the toe. How is his chest, hands? We call it Shama'il al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His surah, his seerah, and his sayyurah. There's three things. Outside, how was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Everything is preserved. Read Shama'il al-Tirmidhi. It's also translated in English. You can get it from Amazon. The characteristics of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Amazing book. How Rasulullah was, the surah of this. The inside of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, all the akhlaq al-mahmuda, all the praiseworthy qualities, the love of Allah, zuhud, asceticism, leaving the dunya, just worshipping Allah, no jealousy, no pride, being the Prophet the best, but still so humble. These are all akhlaq al-mahmuda. That's So that's the inside. Even that is preserved. And then the entire senior of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the entire life is preserved of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No man has been preserved this much. And this is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the ayat I recited, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. O people, certainly a messenger has come to you from amongst yourself. He's a human like you. So you can't complain, I can't do it. Because Allah said he's a bashar. He's a human just like you. That's what he said. From amongst yourself, I have sent a man, a messenger. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ. What type of messenger? Is he strict? The Sharia of Musa was strict. It was extremely strict. You do a sin, the sin is written right in front of your door. It's written right there. Sharia of Isa was very easygoing for the Nasara of the time, for the Bani Israel. But Muhammad's Sharia sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is right in between. It's not too hard or is it too loose. It's for everyone can do. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah Azza wa Jal does not oblige a soul that which it cannot bear, which it cannot burden. So everything is within our wus'ah, our capacity. So what type of messenger is this? Azizun alayhi ma anittum. It's very difficult upon him to see you going through troubles. Every musibah you go through is hard on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every musibah. That's why he used to make dua for us after every single salat. You know when we love someone, when we say, I love my child, or I love my mother, my father, and we actually do. Not saying that we don't, we really do. Inshallah, we all love them. Right? We love them. But do we really make dua for them? Every single day? Every single salat? That's a question to ask. Bibi Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is praying salat at home. And I come, and I see him making dua. And I say, Ya Rasulullah, ud'u Allah li ayman. Ud'u Allah, make dua for me as well. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam raises his hand and says, Ya Allah, اغفر لعائشة ما تقدم من ذنبي وما تأخر. Oh Allah, forgive the sins of Aisha. Bibi Aisha, the beloved wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she's so happy. And look at this. Let's just pause quickly over here, take some points out of this. Wife is not happy because of material that the husband gives, the gifts. Rasulullah didn't have much to offer. He lived the most simplest of life. He had nothing. He was given the opportunity, if you want to turn Mount Uhud into gold for you. But what did he choose? He chose poverty. He chose simplicity so he can leave a message for all of us. All of us. That whatever struggle you're going through, don't forget me. Rasulullah has went through all of it. And he survived in that patience and he continued on. So Bibi Aisha is happy because of dua, not because of gold given to her, not because of happy because the iman, the salat, the righteousness that is there. She gets happy about it. Rasulullah has made dua for me. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And she puts her head down out of happiness. Rasulullah sees this and to ask, Ya Aisha, what is making you so happy? What's happening? Bibi Aisha says, how can I not be happy when the Prophet of Allah has made dua for me? How can I not be happy when the Prophet of Allah has made dua for me? Look at these legendary words. This is Muhammad for you. This is Muhammad for you, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Ya Aisha, if this makes you happy, إِنَّهَا لَدَعْوَتِي لِأُمَّتِ بَعْدَ كُلِّ صَلَاةٍ. That this is my dua for my ummah, for my entire ummah, nation. All of us are the ummah of Rasulullah, whether it's a Muslim or non-Muslim. We all are the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is my dua for my ummah بعد كل صلاة, after every single salat I perform. Allah Akbar. Every salat. I imagine the love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had for us. And النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is more closer to us than even ourselves. That's how much compassion he had for us. Likewise, we need to adopt the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When we just try following and looking at Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we come and we tell Allah, Ya Allah, I didn't bring much, but I brought you the surah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And because of that, Allah Azza wa Jalla might forgive us, and He will forgive us. Respected brothers and elders, if we look at the life of Sahaba, how much they loved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ready to sacrifice their life for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we're not ready to sacrifice haram food for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or anything that's that we want to do, our desires. We're not ready to sacrifice just our desires. Sahaba, on the other hand, They're ready to sacrifice their wealth, money, their life, their limbs, their children. Everything is qurban for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have to adopt that. Read about Sahaba, read about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and inspire to be like Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because in him is the best example for the entire humanity. Not in Western life. Not looking at the Western societies that want to be like those people. Right? The rappers, the basketball players. No. Our success will never be in their life because they're not successful. True success is not money. It's iman. And that is only in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Sahaba and those that follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we must take Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as our role model. The Sahaba love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam so much. One story comes to mind. Battle of Uhud, there was a lady, one Sahabiya, female companion. Look at this girl. Lost her son. وَمَاتَ أَخُوهَا. Brother also died in the Battle of Uhud. And the news reached her. Father is dead. Brother is dead. The husband is dead. The son is, everyone is dying in her family in the Battle of Uhud. And what's she worried about? She comes running and she says, what happened to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Because the Battle of Uhud, if you remember, the news spread that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has passed away. Which makes the Sahaba all confused, like how Muhammad passed away. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this news spread like wildfire. Even in Medina, people heard this. So this Sahabiya comes running. Forget about the brother, forget about the son. Can you ever imagine that? Mother forgetting about the son. Husband. How is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? They said, he's fine, he's fine. No. Take me to Muhammad, I want to see him with my own eyes. Then I'm going to find rest in my heart. And after that she says, after seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كُلُّ مُصِيبَةٍ بَعْدَكَ جَلَةٍ. That every musibah after you is nothing. I lost everyone. Say this in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as long as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is okay, this was their love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a man comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, whenever I think of my death and I think of your death, I can't help but cry. I just start crying. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked him for the reason. He responded, because I think about it, when I pass away, I'm going to be in Jannah. But when you pass away, رُفِعْتَ مَعَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ. You will be the highest of Jannah. In Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la. And when I think about myself, I don't even know if, inshallah, I'll be in Jannah. I don't know if I'll be at that level with you. But just thinking that in Jannah I'll not be able to see you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this makes me sad. And I can't live, but I just start crying. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't have a response. Allah Azza wa Jalla used the Quran ayat. And what's the Quran ayat? That those who obeys Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاء. That those are the people who will be with the prophets, who will be with the martyrs, who will be with the Siddiqeen, the truthful people like Abu Bakr and Umar. But what's the condition? إِطَاعَةَ Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have to obey Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not just say through our mouth, I love Muhammad, and our life is contrary to the sunnah of Rasulullah. Not like that. I love Muhammad through my actions as well. My actions. Our actions speak louder than our words, and we live our life such that we love Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We don't leave any sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, no matter how strange it may look. I'm never going to leave the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam eating with the hands. The sunnah of using the lavatory, the bathroom, sunnah of eating, sitting on the floor and eating, simplicity. Just because other people will make fun of me, it doesn't matter. We will be strange, but glad tidings for the strangers. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the deen started strange. Boom, we have the religion of Islam, telling everyone how to live their life, up until how to even use the bathroom. Well, no one has hygiene in their life. Purity. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam teaches Sahaba, every adab, every manner is teaching all of it. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the sunnah. We have to bring this love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What will happen? Number one, there's a beautiful hadith in Bukhari. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, when will we find the sweetness of Iman? We're Muslims, we're living. But when will we find the sweet taste of Iman? When? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said that the first way is that a person, Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is more beloved to him than any and everything else. That's number one. حب إلهي, حب الله ورسوله, the love of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is we love them more than every and anything else. That's number one. Once we have that in our life, once we have adopted that, inshallah we'll find the sweetness of Iman. What does the sweetness of Iman mean anyway? The sweetness of Iman means that when we pray Salah, we find taste in it. We want to do it. You know, when people, they do sins, that's not true sweetness. Nor is that any mazza in there. It's just for that time being. And later on, you just regret for that sin. But ibadat and ta'at, the worship of Allah and obedience to Allah, has such sweetness to it that even 50 years later, you think about it, Allahu Akbar, and it feels good. And you're happy about it. And the reward of it you'll find hereafter. So the first is, Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is more beloved to us than anyone else. That's number one. Number two, that we love one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We like our Muslim brothers, for not because of wealth, not because of their position or who they are, because of their family, but we love one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number two. And number three is that a person hates kufr. Person hates disbelief, acts of disbelief. He hates polytheism, shirk, he hates it. He won't even think and fathom that me will be doing any acts of kufr. Any acts, anything that's related to kufr, whether it's resembling even the kuffar, resembling the disbelievers, or any act of kufr, this person dislikes that. Why? Because tawheed is firm in his heart. Because monotheism, the belief in Allah, is firm in his heart. If a person has these three actions, then this person has found the sweetness of Iman. Rasulullah said, halawat al-Iman. He has found the sweetness of Iman. Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, he explains this to be, what is sweetness of Iman? That the person has istirdad al-ta'at. That the person finds taste when he's worshipping Allah. He has the shawq, his jazba, his desire, enthusiasm. That he's always looking for the masjid, good environments, and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of the ulama, and this might be a little bit deep, but the ulama, some of them, when they have reached Kamal, the Salihin, the righteous people, those that have reached Kamal, the Sufi Kiram, the Hazrat, they have reached the state of Darjatul Ihsan. Ihsan is the highest stage we all should aim for. Wherever we end up, alhamdulillah, but Ihsan is the highest stage of Iman, al-Ihsan. What is Ihsan? Is that stage when you're 24/7 conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarah, fa'in lam takun tarah, fa'innahu yarak. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said Ihsan is that you worship Allah as if you're seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning you're conscious of Allah. And if you can't see Him, then know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always sees you. In other words, Ihsan is 24/7 we're conscious of the being of Allah azza wa jalla. So some of these awliya, the friends of Allah, right, the friends of Allah, we still have some of them. We don't know who's a friend of Allah. Maybe some of our teachers are the friends of Allah. The friends of Allah, they have written that the sweetness of Iman, this is haqiqi sweetness. This is real sweetness. Just like how when we eat sugar and we find sweetness in our tongue, that if you reach that daraja, if you're in that daraja of ihsan, and these three things that I've mentioned, love of Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, overtakes every other love. Loving one another for the sake of Allah, good akhlaq with one another, good manners, right? And the third one is that we love tawheed and we hate shirk and kufr. So when we reach the peak of this, we will find haqiqi sweetness in our mouth. True sweetness, just like when we put sugar in our mouth. So when you say La ilaha illallah, when you mention the name of Allah, you do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every time you'll be finding sweetness, 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 sweetness. And there's something you have to experience. A person might be like, wait, how is that possible? I can't find any sweetness in my mouth. Well, that's something you have to experience. There's some things when you have a lot of iman, a lot of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and you're trying your best 24/7 to do good, stay away from sins, then you reach that level of kamal. When you reach that level of kamal, you have a special tawajjuh of Allah from you. You have the special attention from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you become the wali of Allah. you become the friend of Allah. And Allah, inna awliya Allah la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. Be aware and behold, the friends of Allah, they will have no sadness and no fear for them in this world and even hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq to act upon what has been said. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ignite the fire of muhabbat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in our heart and let it overtake our heart. Not just our heart, but our entire body, and make us live following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Barakallahu feekum, and Allah give us tawfiq to act upon what has been said. Brothers can perform their sunnahs, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه سيدنا وسندنا وحبيبنا وخليلنا محمد صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين. أما بعد، يقول الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه العزيز وفرقانه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. صدق الله العظيم. وقال حبيبنا محمد صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه: ثلاث من كن فيه وجد حلاوة الإيمان أن يكون الله ورسوله أحب إليه مما سواهما ولا يحب المرء إلا لله وأن يكره أن يعود في الكفر بعد أن قضاه الله تبارك وتعالى منه، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعدد من صلى وصام. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعدد من قعد وقام. اللهم صل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. اللهم صل على جميع الملائكة المقربين وعلى عبادك الصالحين برحمتك يا رب العالمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله تبارك وتعالى يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأتم وأهم وأكبر. وأقيموا الصلاة